For Harriet Carroll, these are unprecedented times.
I'm stuck in a city 600 miles away from home on benefits with no job potential. I just feel very stuck, very lost and very unvalued.
Her one-year contract as a research fellow at the University of Aberdeen in Scotland came to an end in May. Carol, who has a doctorate in health and well-being, had lined up another job in Sweden starting the following month. But with a travel ban in place there, it hasn't materialised. She's now unemployed and claiming benefits, but they're barely enough to live on.
After my rent comes out, I'm left with £34 a month.
That's $44 for utilities, food and any other bills. To make matters worse, the lockdown forced the closure of her university before her contract ended. Because she was unable to finish her work, she'd hoped her contract would be extended, but that hasn't happened.
We're on a type of contract called open-ended project limited. So it's legally an open-ended contract, but it's got a kind of fixed term limitation in there. And we felt that because particularly on my project we're industry funded, they could have just removed that limitation for the moment, furloughed us, and then we could come back and finish the work when lockdown is over.
Now, Carol is one of potentially thousands of academics across the country whose short-term or casual contracts are being axed as part of cost-saving measures. The University of Aberdeen declined an interview but released the following statement. In our likely scenario, the University of Aberdeen predicts an income shortfall of £43 million or $55.3 million in 2020 to 2021. The university is currently exploring new income generation ideas and has increased the number of courses available, with January as well as September start dates, while a pay freeze will be implemented for staff, and the university's senior management team have taken a pay cut. British universities are expected to lose around $3 billion this year if fee-paying students, particularly those from abroad, don't turn up as a result of the pandemic. And a leading think tank predicts that the sector could lose between 7.5% to half of its yearly earnings over the next 4 years. But unions argue that cuts to universities' temporary workforce are short-sighted.
We don't know what will happen with student numbers, but what we do know is that regardless of how many students do come, there's still going to be a lot of work to be done in universities. And there's going to be a lot of work to be done supporting students online and a lot of work to be done just keeping universities going. If you cut the workforce back, to its very limits, that means any staff that remain in the sector are going to be absolutely, burnt out and snowed under with a really intensified workload.
For Carol, the job search continues, but with the unpredictability of short-term contracts at universities, she, like many others in her situation, is looking for work outside academia. Natalie Powell, TRT World, London.